Hi, today we're going to make a Kawaii peach. I'm going to show you how to make a peach out of polymer clay. And for this project, what you'll need is some polymer clay in white or off-white, some orange or red and yellow clay, a little bit of black clay for eyeballs, a little bit of brown clay, and some green clay for leaves. It doesn't matter which type of clay you use. There are several kinds, and most of the differences are in how soft the clays are, how easy to condition, or how easy they are to hold details. Fimo has several different types. This is Fimo Special Effects. It has some sparkles in it. Primo also has several different types of clay. This one's an accents. It holds details pretty well. Sculpt, of course, has lots of different kinds of polymer clay, even glow in the dark. And again, you'd need to experiment to see which ones of the Sculpties you like the best. Cernit is a type of polymer clay that's used by doll makers quite a bit. It holds details really well. And there's also a souffle, which is a very lightweight clay. You might use that if you're making jewelry. So today, what I'm going to do is use some orangey peach-colored clay that I've made out of yellow and red. If you have orange, you can start with that. It makes your life a little easier. If you're going to mix your own orange, make sure you don't use too much red. It takes much less red than you think. Start with a piece of red and then divide it in half. It's about that much of a difference for how much red you need. This is a nice piece of orange, peachy orange, that I made out of red and yellow polymer clay. And to tell you the truth, I have mixed several different brands of polymer clay. I don't even remember which one is which. It seems to work fine. They all bake for about the same amount of time, 15 minutes at 275. So you can mix your clays and use different batches together. All right, for this little piece, I think it's a little too dark for a peach. I'm going to add some more white. Actually, what I have here is a little off-white. So what I need to do is condition that. And of course, polymer clay artists use their pasta machine to condition clay. They can only use the pasta machine then for clay. Can't use it for dinner anymore. But what I do instead is kind of squish the clay, get it going, and then make it into a snake like you did back in kindergarten. That seems to be a really good way of getting the clay conditioned. How can you tell when your clay is ready to work? It gets softer. It'll hold an impression, and you don't have to use as much pressure to get the impression. It also changes sheen at the top. It becomes a little shinier, a little slicker. But this is almost conditioned. There's a little piece of red that was left over. This is almost conditioned, but you don't have to go all the way because you are going to add it to the other color. And so it'll be conditioned some more. Some of the things I've learned about blending clay colors is that for a long time you think nothing is happening. It just looks like you're making, like in this case, looks like you're making candy canes or a sandwich, and the two colors stay separate for a long time. Just about when you're ready to give up and say, well, these colors are not going to mix. Maybe they're too old. Maybe the two batches of clay aren't working well together. Just about then, they mix up. So don't give up. Keep kind of blending, turning, folding, mushing them together. You can see we're starting to get a little striation. For our peach, you might not need the color blended all together. Sometimes the peaches have a little difference in shade, so you might want to keep some of that. I'm going to roll this, do a big snake. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see what we have here. Move my other clays out of the way. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's very, very striated. Fold. Roll. There we go. Let's see how it's looking. Still looks a bit like a broken candy cane. There we go. Roll it again. Oh, we're getting there. There we go. I think that's about right. I see a little white there. Let's push that in. Mix it a little more. All right. So when you get to a color that you like, a peachy color, remember peaches range in color from yellowy and very light to kind of dark. Your peach can be any of those shades you like. Then you're going to want to make a ball. Again, just like we did in kindergarten. And you want to make sure, like, see, I have a little dimple here and a little area that's folded. You don't want any of that. It won't stay together well once it's cooked, and it also doesn't look quite right. So make sure it's all blended well. That looks pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, that's not a crease, it's just a, I think it's just a fingerprint. Okay, so let's make it rounder. Good. Your peach is going to have to sit up, so pick a side and press it down onto the table so that you have a flat area. There, you can see that. So it'll sit up upright. Good. So this will be the front. Then what you want to do is pull out a little chin for your peach. And peaches aren't entirely round. They are kind of pointed on one end. So we're going to put the pointy end in the front like a little chin. Just pull that out. You can see she has a bit of a chin there. Good. And then for the back, you're going to take a ballpoint pen or any tool that you might already have for polymer clay, and even with the front, run down a little crease like that. Bring it to the front a bit. Peaches have that little crease. There we go. Good. And now she's ready for a face and leaves and a stem. So take your pen and about here, poke it in for where eye will be, and then on the other side even. Another eye right there. How's that look? She looks a little squishy here, so we'll even that up. Looks good, huh? All right. Next, we are going to do a stem. You don't need much clay for that. So out of a piece of brown, you'll probably just pinch off a little bit. Maybe about that much. And roll it into a ball first and kind of condition it a bit, and then just roll it out into a little snake. That'll be your stem, and you want to attach that right on top of her head. Again, using the pen. You can use the tip without the ink point out, and you can use that as a way to attach the stem, just pressing it into the main body of the peach, so that when it's baked, that will hold together. Next, you want to make some leaves. So we're going to use our green clay for that. Pull off a little bit. There we go. Push her back here. So that's probably more than I need. Again, we'll condition that. That's probably more. Roll it into a snake. There we go. Feels pretty conditioned. Now for this, what I want to do is flatten it out. So I'm just pressing it between my thumb and my index finger and pulling a bit. And making it kind of thin. And I'll just pull one piece off. And it almost makes the point for my leaf. All I have to do is come back and just pinch that. And then I want to just pinch up here at the back. There we go, we got a leaf. I'll fold it a bit. And you can leave it like this, or you can add some veins. For that, you can use your pen as well. And just draw some veining on the leaf, like that. And then fold the leaf over. And then with the leaves, you can make them any shape or size you want. I'm going to put the pen tip back in, and using that plastic rounded area at the tip, also press that in. We'll leave that like that, but you can adjust the leaves later. Here we have our second leaf. I'm going to again pull off a piece like this. So discard, put that back in the container to use again some other time. And here for this leaf, I'm going to pull the back like that. And we have the tip. And we can turn it like this. Pull it out a little, there we go. And again, put in some veins. There we go. And add that to our little peach. That should hold up. Now what you can do with your leaves is move them and give her a little character. You can have them come down. Maybe make her a little shy. Have one over one eye. You'll have to wait to do that for a little bit. We'll have to add the eyes. Alright, so for the eyes, you're going to use a little bit of black polymer clay. You don't need much. In fact, I have a little piece here. This is probably way too much anyway. So let's see. Maybe about this much. Put these over here. About that much total. And when you do the eyes, let's make a snake. Condition that nice and soft. Good. There we go. Press that out. And what you want to do here is divide it into two pieces at this point, so you know that you have eyes that are the same size. Because otherwise, it's hard to get them exactly the same size. So once you have them separated, you're going to make little balls. Make a little ball here. Make a little ball here. And let's compare. How do they look? One looks a little bigger. Is it too much bigger? I don't think it will show up. What do you think? Pretty close. So then what we want to do is take the eyes and put them in the depressions we already made and press, and then put this one in and press. There. At this point, you can adjust the leaves to give her a little more character. There we go. We'll give her a little, or you can make her look a little surprised. Make sure you don't undo the connection up here. Let's check the back. Looks pretty good from the back. Good. So at this point, you would bake your Kawaii peach for about 275 for about 15 minutes, or following the directions on the polymer clay that you're using. When she's all baked, you're going to need a Sharpie pen, a little white paint, or even whiteout, a little whiteout, a brush or a toothpick, and some kind of either artist pastels or blush. I'm going to use pastels here because the blush I have is not dark enough to give her some cheeks. Alright, so first thing we'll do, we need her to look like our other Kawaii peaches. So we're going to add eyebrows. Then they aren't very big, so we're just going to do a tiny little eyebrow on each side, like that. Good. And then we're going to give her eyelashes. I'm using 3. 2 look good too. This is another place where you can make her your own. There we go. And then we need a little mouth. So we're going to draw a little mouth right here. There we go. And next you'll take just a tiny little bit of white paint for the spark of life. That's what one of my art instructors told me this is. It really makes your eyeballs pop. And what I usually do, you can see here she has her spark of life, is I'll go on one side or the other, either right or left, and I put the little spark of light on the same side on both eyes. It makes a big difference. And then we're going to want to add just a little bit of white to her mouth, like that. Oh, she needs a little more over here, doesn't she? There we go. There. And then the last item to do, last thing you're going to want to add to your little Kawaii peach is a little blush. What I have is an awfully pale pink here. I think it might actually look a little better to have something a little darker. Oh, that looks pretty good. So what you want to do is go down her cheek and add a little blush. You can also add this before she's baked, like that, and then rub that in. And there you go. A little Kawaii peach. I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun with polymer clay and make the little peach your own with a few little changes to her expression, her leaves, maybe even where you put the mouth. Let's look from the back. There we go, a little peach. They'll say goodbye for now.